Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to The Couch. I have a special guest today, Aaron Wilson. You're a motivational speaker, artist, actor. Was there a defining moment where you realized you had this gift of public speaking?
It's funny. I think in college, I did this presentation. We were paired up with partners, and I literally did most of the speaking. And I think my partner was like, yeah, you can kind of, you know those situations where they let like the geeky person do all the work or the smart person?
Yeah.
There was this one instance where I was just like killing it with the speaking and the whole project. When I got up in front of the class, like I was like, wait, maybe I can really do this. And then I did another speech and I got like a 98 on it in college. And I was like, okay, I have to look into this.
Now, were you afraid? Were you afraid when you were giving a speech? Because they say that the number one fear is giving a speech.
It's public speaking. And honestly, public speaking. Until this day, I still do get nervous. And
right before? And then when you're in it, the nerves go away? Or still you have a little bit of nerves?
It's still in it.
Did you find that there was a common theme with every person that you had an interaction with?
Absolutely. Everyone's fearful, so they're afraid of fear. They're afraid of messing up or
afraid of greatness too.
Afraid of greatness.
That's mine. That's mine.
Yeah, and then also, really, Austin is really not knowing their worth or their value or knowing what their purpose is. And me not knowing that, even though I act and sing and do that now.
Right.
When I was younger, I was lost. I didn't know what my passion or purpose was. So being able to see people that have an ambition but not know where to take it next, and for me to be there to uplift them and encourage them, it's just a pure joy.
That's the best thing you could do. Yeah. That's your joy.
Exactly.
We try so hard to find what that joy is, and some of us don't know what we want to do with our lives, but we might have an idea of what we want to do, but then we're afraid to say what we want to do. Because even the acting thing, I mean, it's something that we both have wanted to do.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, how you wanted to do acting.
It's so crazy because even so in elementary school or junior high, when we would get chances to apply like for theater or whatnot, I would always sign up with the rest of my friends, but literally run away when it's time to audition. And then I would see them on stage, like literally I remember
wishing you had
Fiddler on the Roof, I'm like, I could have tried out for that, and I would run away just because, and it's crazy. I don't know if I was afraid of greatness or afraid of messing up or
what would happen if I did.
That's what I'm saying. And I think a lot of it too was insecurity, not being secure within myself. You know what I mean? And as a person, and that confidence, and like I was saying, that self-worth and value, which even today I have that now, but I'm still building that. I still do affirmations. I still uplift myself, you know what I mean, and surround myself around positive people. And these are things that you don't just get to a certain age and say, I don't need to do it.
I was going to say, comedians, they say that the comedy comes from a really dark place.
Yeah.
Do you find that the motivation, that there's darkness within you that you have to work at daily?
Absolutely.
Because of what your job is?
Yeah, absolutely. And just knowing that we're here, and my mentor always said this, like everyone's a work in progress. Whether every single person on this earth
always learning.
Is always learning. Everyone's a work in progress. So it's even with myself, it's like it's a daily thing that I have to do. Like even I talk about stepping out of your comfort zone to really reach your greatness. It's not a one-time thing. It's not a once a month thing. It's a constant thing. The more you can step out of this bubble that we live in as humans, like I'm telling you, that's how you really reach and achieve your purpose.
Well, and I really agree with that because I feel, and this was a realization for me most recently, that the best impact you can have is to try to help someone along in their journey.
Absolutely.
To give them a helping hand, to push them along, because when your life is for other people, you will find so much more value in your life.
That's what I'm saying, and if you even talk, like I know they have like research on like billionaires and millionaires, and their biggest thing was like giving back and helping someone else. That's where their pure joy comes from, and anybody can do that, no matter what status you are.
I think the greatest riches come from giving.
Exactly.
When you're always giving, you're in a place to receive.
You're in a place to receive.
Completely full. Or open, or empty to have that fullness.
And that's the thing too. I think that's perfect. It's like giving, but then it's also receiving and not waiting to give. Like I know a lot of times people are like, oh well, when I'm rich, I'm going to do this, but you can do it now. There's ways you can give now, even if it's your time, or you know what I mean. Even if it's a word, an uplifting word, or me, it's crazy. I purposely like to give compliments to people. So if I'm in the store and I see a cashier like we have to go out our way, I really believe, to really make a difference, you know?
And it really changes the energy in the room and the light of the room when you do give your barista a compliment or you talk to them like a person instead of a cash handler.
Exactly.
You know, that it's a real human being on the other side of that. What would you say is something that has been a roadblock? Something that you've had to overcome? I would say for me, it's just doubting my own ability. You know, I did a headshot session this morning, and
I seen it.
The photographer,
they were cool.
Well, the photographer said to me, he said, "What are your goals for 2020?" And I could think of all the things I want to accomplish, but the biggest thing I said is to become more of myself. That's what I really want, to be more of myself. And I've been doing the work, and I feel it. I feel more grounded than ever before, that I can just be myself without judgment. So that's the thing that I've had to overcome, and I realize that I'm working at it every day.
Absolutely.
But I am getting closer to where I want to be, and that's a great thing. So what is something that you want to get closer to, but you just feel that there's a roadblock, it's a hard thing to achieve? What is that thing?
I think for me, it was just really just like living, like similar to you, but really like living in harmony with the gifts that I have. So speaking, acting, singing. I think before it was like how to put those together, but then like, so this is the journey I've been on for the couple of years, but really just knowing like, how do I work these as a well-oiled machine? And it's not always perfect, but how do I really give time to each of those gifts that was given to me? I remember there's this verse in the Bible that says like, your gifts will make room for you. And I remember sometimes I'm like, oh, I just wish I had one gift because I can't. Exactly, because I couldn't juggle them. But now it's really, that's why I say the word harmony, because it's like, if you notice, acting, speaking, and singing, they're not all too far apart. And with all those, like, my whole mission is to uplift. So whether it's writing music, whether it's acting, whether it's speaking, I want to do uplifting roles. That's the common theme. I want to inspire humanity. So it's like, it's really just finding that harmony between those gifts and working that.
And letting go of the ego.
And letting, absolutely, you can't have an ego in this type of work, especially speaking, you know, because when you get up on stage, it's not about you. It's really about them, you know?
Yeah. And that's a way that I've been trying to live my life, that it's not about me, because it's so boring, it's so flat and dead if it's about me. I'm just one person.
Absolutely.
But what can you do for multiple people?
What can you do for multiple?
You know, MLK Junior Day.
Exactly.
Just passed. I thought about how it's not just one day, it's every day. It's every impact that one man had on the world. And that was his legacy. So what do you define your purpose to be? What's your life purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. My purpose is to uplift people.
I'm so grateful for the highs and the lows, because you learn so much.
You learn so much.
And then it's not as low. I mean, it's all perspective. It's not as low as you think it is. If you can see a glimmer of hope or the high, or where you can build your life from that low. You know, when things aren't going your way, or there's maybe a different way that's for you, something better that's for you. And if something's not working out, then you could do a different thing and you might find greater joy in that. So for you, you always wanted to do acting, you had so many gifts, so many things. It's been a struggle to use those gifts to figure out how you're going to shape your platform.
How I'm going to shape it, absolutely.
But I think it's so amazing that you do motivational speaking, because you're encouraging other people to use their gifts.
Literally.
So you're teaching yourself in a way too.
And then it's just like, literally,
I should take my own advice kind of thing.
Yeah, literally, I have to. It's like, it's so funny. Like, I speak to schools and I'm like, I'll get to it, whether it's an audition or something to do with music, and I'm like, I'm afraid. I'm like, but wait a minute, I just told these students this is what they need to do. I need to do it. Yeah, so it's a funny career, because it's like you're literally teaching them what you have to do yourself. You know what I mean?
Did you ever imagine in your life that you would be motivating other people? Did you ever think that?
No.
Were there glimmers? Were there whispers?
Maybe like that high school experience when I like encouraged and stuff, but I would not. It's funny. You never think it would. Like my job that I thought I was gonna do, like when I was little, I was like, oh, I want to be a mailman. You know, because I seen like, you know, the mail delivering. But it's funny because what does a mailman do? Delivers a message, right?
We all have so much hope inside of us too, that we can offer to other people in sharing our stories.
Exactly.
So has there been something that you've shared with other people that has been the defining thing, something that has really changed the way that people see the world?
I would say, as far as like one of the stories is music. So I had a friend of mine that was in the hospital for a heart transplant, and she was admitted back in the hospital. And this is when I wrote my first single, "Save My Life," and I sang my song, "Save My Life," and I'll never forget. Lynette, in the hospital bed, she had tears in her eyes, and she said, "Aaron, the lyrics to your song was the prayers that I was saying when I was getting my heart transplant."
Wow.
And that to me, like, and I'll never forget that. And I left, and I realized, like, these gifts, they're bigger than us. And what is a gift? A gift is supposed to be given. Yeah. So that gift of music and songwriting, that's supposed to be shared with the world, despite whether I'm nervous or I don't believe in myself. Like, I'm supposed to put that out there. That's why I was given it.
Would you say a lot of people are disappointed with their lives because they're not using the gifts they were given?
Absolutely. And not only that, another thing, a barrier is we didn't like money or resources or like mentors to help you figure out how to even put it out there. So there's like levels to it. It's first accepting that you have an amazing gift, whether it's one gift or many gifts. The second is really figuring out, how do I work on this gift? How do I make it better? How do I develop this gift? The third is, where's my team? Who's around me that's going to help me? Because you can't do it by yourself. And then it's really finding an audience or finding a crowd. So there's levels to it.
What is the thing that makes you feel most like yourself?
Most like myself?
What's the thing that grounds you the most?
Grounds me? I would say being around like my friends and family.
Okay.
Being able to just
bring out the real you.
Yeah, and just like it's funny too. On stage, I am the me too. Like they just have to accept it. But yeah, like I just feel like being carefree, living living from your heart, living from an honest place, but just having fun at the same time. I really feel like we have to. Like
it's
this
great
world
character work and conversation. It's nice to just be free.
And I think it goes back to what we were saying. Like it's great to have a plan, but then be flexible. Like I was looking at my plan. I'm like, Aaron, you're giving no time for rest. You're not giving any leeway. So I had to go back and revise it. Like, give yourself time. Because we need time to relax. We need time to have fun.
We need to be honest with ourselves when we need that time.
Exactly.
Too.
That's the thing. So it's really
yesterday I was just dead tired, and it was only 8 p.m. I was thinking there's so much more I want to do today, but then I just turned it in.
You just go to bed. Yeah, literally.
And I went to bed early, and I feel great. So
exactly,
it's what my body needed.
Exactly.
And the body was saying something different than the mind, but I gotta.
But see, that's like being in one with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then the mind was like, okay, that was a good idea, buddy. Yeah.
See, and they're back on the same page for now. Yeah.
Have you found that your life has been in great balance ever since you started speaking and motivating people? That your mind and body, everything has gotten better?
Yeah, definitely. In the sense that I'm just not like working, or I'm just to work, or I'm not living just to living. I feel like with the speaking and everything else, I have a goal, and I think that's so important because if you don't have a goal, it's like you're almost just coasting, and you want to have, whether that goal takes years or months, however long it takes, you want to at least have a destination, and having that is great.
So with you finding this mission that you have for yourself, what has been a piece of motivation that you've received from someone? The best motivation.
The best? Well, I wrote about this in my book. So when I did this workshop years ago, and I remember this one student, Marcus, he was like, you know what? He knew that I sang and I write music, and he was like, I want to be a singer. I want to write music. And I was like, so I told him, Marcus, I was like, you know what? When you come to the workshop, sit up in the front, take down every note that I say. We're gonna make this work. And literally, Marcus, every class, sat up in the front, asked answers, and what I seen in him, I seen myself when I was younger. Only when I was younger, I wasn't reaching out saying, oh, I want to do this. I was not at that level he was, but he did that. And so I remember we had Christmas break, we came back, I found out he passed away from a brain aneurysm or something like that. And I remember in the newspaper he wrote, before he left, he spoke to his teachers, and he said he was inspired to be a motivational speaker by Aaron. And I remember I took that and I was like, Aaron, everything, up to this point, you don't know, like I said, even if it's for one person, you have to do this. So whether it's me on TV, on stage, I know that my purpose is to share my story and get up there and uplift, because those stories like that, that's who I do it for. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and that's what makes you feel most alive.
absolutely, like those moments and just knowing that I'm being able to impact someone else. Like I feel like that's why we're all here. We're all here to help one another in a certain way or not.
There's a quote that says, "We're all just walking each other home."
I like
We're
that.
all just walking each other home.
Like
and that really resonated with my core.
Walking each other
because I realized that all of us are connected. Every single person
is connected.
And we have to treat people better. We have to be nicer. We have to give grace and forgiveness and love, because the things that we give are the things that we are. Mm-hmm. We are that love and that grace, and we'll find that for ourselves if we give it to others. So thank you so much, Aaron, for being on the couch and motivating us all. Stay tuned to all the great things he has in store for us.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.